Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play.
Alright, I know what you're thinking. David, why did you decide to post a day in the life of an architecture student video right before one about switching majors? It's kind of a complicated situation, but I wanted to post the other one because it kind of shows, in a way, some of my past to, an exaggerated extent. It was mainly for the humor. But I wanted to get this video out, why I'm switching majors, before I end up showing you videos of me on the Boca campus and stuff like that when I would have been on the Fort Lauderdale campus for the architecture program. Here is why I am no longer doing architecture as a major. There's a lot of mixed reasoning, and the first one, and the main one, is I just completely lost passion for it over time. I'm gonna keep the explanation for it pretty short here, but it got pretty bad. So I talked with friends both in architecture and out of architecture about it, and one of the things that kept coming up was everybody has their bad days. But sometimes when it gets to be the bad days outweigh the good days by a large margin, it gets pretty toxic. I ended up having the mindset for the longest time of just get through today. And that was a pretty big signal to me, hey, I need to make a change, and it's just not what I want to do. Sure, people are going to think, hey, it was just a lot of work and I just wasn't able to handle it and stuff like that. But from my perspective, I can handle a lot of hard work and I have a good work ethic. But it's just so different when you're not passionate about it. So if I was passionate about it, I could handle it way better than I have been and stuff like that. So yeah, I had to make a change, and my interests were way more in a different field than it is in architecture. Also, I have some pretty ambitious goals that I felt couldn't be met with doing architecture, such as making a business. That's something I want to do pretty early on and make possibly multiple businesses. With architecture, they basically breed you to just stick with a job for the longest time and stuff until you're possibly 40 or 50 to make a business and stuff like that. Thought about that, it wasn't really appealing. And every time I talk to an architect, either one of my teachers or a different one in the field, I always ask different questions to see what it's like to work in it and stuff like that. They always come up with these answers that never really appealed to me. Some of the different things, basically when they said their answer, a lot of the times I was like, that's exactly what I don't want. That was also a big factor in my decision as well. It's very complicated, there's tons to go into it, but I didn't want to just move on to something else and then not explain myself to YouTube and my friends and stuff like that. So I ended up texting different friends of mine to tell them ahead of time before they go to campus and just, not see me there. But I wanted to address my YouTube audience for anyone who I haven't spoken to about it because, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should do that rather than just hey, surprise, I'm switching majors. So here's my explanation, and I'm looking forward to the future. Now for switching majors, that process is supposed to go pretty smoothly based on what I've heard in the past. But for me, oh my god. I had to go through multiple advisors, tons of phone calls, voice messages, emails, etc. It went absolutely nuts. It was crazy. Ideally, I wanted to switch to business management. And then they said this.
So we don't allow students that are going to go into a 5th or 6th year the opportunity to switch over because we are penalized for that. So your only option, if you still would like business, is to speak with your advisor over in architecture. Ask them about a Bachelor of General Studies degree.
So basically, I can't switch directly to business management like I thought I'd be able to, based on the fact that I'm switching relatively late. When I decided to switch, I figured, hey, I have 2 more years of a 5-year architecture program. This is the time to switch because most majors take 2 years. But the school does not take into consideration the 5-year program thing. they say, oh, you have to graduate within 4 years or whatever. So for me, I'm switching late, going into my 4th year. So basically, the only option they gave me is to switch into what they call interdisciplinary studies through the College of Arts and Letters, which I was already part of for architecture. So what I have to do is take some random classes within the College of Arts and Letters to get my bachelor's. And that's going to only take 1 more year. So I'll be done at the end of spring rather than 2 more years, and I would have been done at the end of 2023, which is a good thing. I'm happy about that. I'll be done a little bit earlier because then I get to decide if I want to do, you know, my master's or whatever and get a little bit of a head start on that. Or ideally, I would have my own business running, hopefully by graduation, but we'll see what happens. I think that's all I wanted to say about the topic of switching, but I wanted to say real quick, thank you to all you guys who are supporting me. I appreciate you. If you're an architecture student, I wish you the absolute best through some of these last 2 years for you. I look forward to seeing your progress. Thank you guys for always supporting me and being great friends. I appreciate you. To people outside of architecture, anyone in my college or even on my swim teams, stuff like that, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for always supporting me. Looking forward to the future. Let's get it.
Hey now, you're an all-star.
Alright, that was a waste of time. I'll change my major a different time. Have a good day. This is gonna be a little harder than I thought. Or maybe easier. I don't know, but looks like I'm not going straight to business.
Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid.